Hey guys, B Twice here. Today is Monday, June 21st. We're going to be looking at wave theory analysis on SPY, QQQ, Affirm, and Tesla. Before we get into this, I just wanted to go over that obviously everything that all of my counts are completely subjective and I could be wrong at any given time. And the trades I make are based upon what I see on that given day's price action. So everything that I could go over today based upon how we open the next day or close could validate or invalidate any count. So you always want to do your own due diligence and take anything that anybody online is telling you with a grain of salt. So with that being said, let's look at these wave counts. So for the S&P 500 SPY, I saw that we topped, and I went over this a little bit more detail over the weekend. I thought that there was two counts that we could have a bull bottom um, down here that we already touched because we technically hit the 23.6, or that we were going down for a bull bottom, and, or we could go a little bit lower. So we actually came down and hit my circle perfectly. You can go back and look at the other video and you see that. So obviously the futures opened last night. They dumped hard. They reversed just like I thought they would because of where we were hitting on the 23.6 retracement. We popped up. What I'm seeing is I actually am still a little bearish, and the reason I say this is I'm seeing an a B, and that we're going up for a C. I'm not really seeing a clear five-wave move here up for an impulse. If this was an impulsive structure going up, I would be leaning towards the bull side and say that we're going up for a bull one and pulling back. But with that being said, I'm seeing it as an A, B going up for a C to our box that I'm calling X. So there could still be a little bit more upside before we sell off. And then I think there's going to be a pullback. Whether or not this is an X or a bull one, we're still going to have a pullback. Because if it's a bull one, we have to pull back to retrace and then ultimately go higher. So the bull count would be that we have a five-wave up. We're going to pull back, and then ultimately we're going to rally up, and we're going to be going up for wave three, and we're going to hit all-time highs in the near future. What I'm seeing is that we're going to get up here, we're going to have another flush, and it's probably going to be a pretty bad day. We're going to drop down. We'll probably break the trend line again. I think we'll get into this 414 range. That's what I'm going to call my A. We're going to pop up for a B, and then ultimately we're going to flush again for a C, and it's going to take us somewhere around 410. We could go as low as 404, 403, somewhere in this ballpark down by the 38.2. But ultimately, I do think that we're going to have another three-wave move down, and we're going to see more downside. Another reason why I'm favoring this is obviously the NASDAQ, and I'll show you that in a second here. You'll see that I'm still, even though I'm short-term/intermediate term bull on the NASDAQ, we still have to pull back, and I think during that pullback, the S&P 500 is going to drop a little bit more. So that's why I'm leaning bearish on this one. All right, so QQQ. So this is what I'm talking about. Basically, and I showed this over the weekend, I thought that we had bottomed for 4 and we are going up for our blue wave 5, and we're obviously going to see 5 purple wave 5s in this impulse to get us to our actual market top. And when we do get up there, there's going to be a pretty significant drop. So with that being said, what I'm seeing is that we're still going down for a 5-wave move. Even though we bounced back a little bit today, I'm seeing this as a 1 and a 2. So we're going to have a 5-wave impulse down for an A. Then we're going to pop up for a B, and then we're going to have a 5-wave impulse down for a C. And this is going to take us to a wave 2. So there's still going to be more upside coming in the near future. But because I'm bearish right now just on the NASDAQ, and I do think we do have to pull back a little bit more before we can go to all-time highs, that's what's making me lean towards the bear route on S&P 500 as well. Now, with this being said, if we wake up tomorrow and the price action shows that we've ripped all-time highs on the NASDAQ, it will invalidate this count, and then I have to go back and do my counts throughout the day to completely change that. And that's why I was saying, hey, you want to take everything with a grain of salt, because any price action on any given day can completely change what I'm showing from the day before. But right now, I do think we're going to see another 3-wave move down, and then we're still going to have some downside here in this next week or so on the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. All right, so let's jump into Affirm. So Affirm is one of my buddies actually had me look at this setup, and right now it's probably one of my favorite setups that I'm seeing, especially with the overall state of the market. And I think we have a little bit more downside, which is going to take us perfectly to our price target. So what I'm seeing is from where we bottomed on Affirm, we've popped up for a 1, we've pulled back for a 2, we have a 3, 4, and we hit our 5 right here. So I did an extension from the bottom of wave 4, and you can see we pretty much topped right around this 100% mark. So that's a wave 5, which takes us to the next higher degree, wave 1. So now we're in the process of doing a zigzag, it looks like. We're doing a zigzag down to find our bottom. So what I'm seeing is we had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've already done the first leg of the zigzag. So we're going to pop back up for an A. which I'm thinking is going to take us up to like the 67 range, something like that. Could be a little shallow, could be a little higher. And then ultimately we're going to do another flush down to get us down by this trend line. So this green line is our uptrend line. To figure out what your price target's going to be for your, actually I screwed this up. This should be an A over here. So hold on one second. Um, so this is an A. We'll have a B here and we'll have a C here. With that being said, so to figure out your B price target, which is right up here, you actually do a retracement from the top to the bottom of A, and it's usually around the 50% mark. It could be a little higher, a little less. So we're going to look for our B to get right there, and then we're going to see another 5-wave impulse down. So if you want to get your price target for your C level, what you actually do is you would take an extension from the extreme down to the bottom of A, and you extend it right off of B. When you do that, what you're actually going to find is that your 100% line actually ends up being right in this ballpark, right by this trend line. And that's what makes me like this setup to think that, hey, this wave 2 is going to be somewhere right in this circle. So in the low 60s, we're going to be looking for entry on this. And the reason I like this so much is I went back to the daily just so we could see it. The wave 3 price target's basically $100. So if we can get a good flush down here and have a 3-wave move down to buy this trend line, that's serious upside. We're talking 40 a share. So I'll continue watching this name and hopefully we can get a good buy on this one. All right, so the last one I wanted to look at today was Tesla. So based on what we saw last Friday and how bad of a day it was in the market, it started making me turn bullish from my bearish stand on Tesla. In the past, I was always saying that, hey, I thought we were going to see a 5-wave move to the downside and that this was a 1. But ultimately, I always talked about how it is possible that this is the bottom and the bottom's already been in, and that we were going up for a 1, 2, and that we were going up for a 3, 4, 5. So the bulls see it coming up to the 720 range before a pullback, and then ultimately ripping to all-time highs sometime in the near future, while the bears see it getting rejected somewhere in here and going down for our wave C price target of 425. Tesla had a really good day on Friday, so I was like, you know what, this thing could potentially rip up. We broke out of a triangle on the daily, and this triangle actually exists on the weekly as well. We're above the 200. Today was a good day. It started off crappy, and then it went positive, and then it did pull back. Now, we did hold this triangle, but we're failing to get above this resistance or even getting really too close to it at 636. So we really need to break the 636. So if I was not in Tesla already, what I would do is I would actually wait for confirmation above 636. If Tesla doesn't break 636, I wouldn't get in. If Tesla does break 636, we will be seeing this downtrend line and possibly even going up to the 700s. But with that being said, we do need to break the 636 resistance, and I still am ultimately thinking we're going to touch the 660 range before we see whether or not we're going to hit all-time highs or we're going to be seeing a reversal. So I'll continue watching this name, and if you guys like these videos, go ahead and hit a like and subscribe.